Hello, my name's Amy. I'm the clinical specialist at Saebo UK, and in this video I'm going to show you the benefits of combining two different technologies as part of your home rehab. So we're going to be combining the Saebo Maz Mini, which is a table mounted de-weighting device to help take away the effects of gravity. So for those of you who are very weak in movements with their arm, it's going to take away that weight to enable you to move your arm more easily. And I'm going to combine that with electrotherapy. So in this instance, I'm going to be using our Saebo Stim Pro. So the reason why I'm going to combine these two technologies is, even with the de-weighting of the upper limb, sometimes if the movement is very, very weak and the muscles are very, very weak, by adding in electrotherapy, we're going to add an additional stimulation to the muscles to enable them to contract and give you more movement when you're practicing a task or a specific movement. So in this video, I'm going to go through 3 different simple exercises on what you can do with these two devices combined. For how to set up these two devices, there are some cards that will pop up that you can click on to separate videos for the Saebo Maz Mini and the Saebo Stim Pro. So exercise number 1, I'm going to look at elbow extension. So this is a good exercise for those of you who are stuck moving in this sort of pattern and range and unable to get that full reach. And it's always with a view to the end goal of potentially reaching forwards on a table to pick up an object. We need to have that reach. So I am going to set up and put 2 electrodes on the back of my upper arm so that I'm going to stimulate the triceps muscle, which is what's going to give me that elbow extension. So I can either do the 2 electrodes above each other, or I could do them side by side on my upper arm. I'm going to turn the device on with a side switch, and I'm going to have it on program number 1. I'm going to put my arm into the mobile arm support, secure myself in tightly, increase the tension. So I'm going to take away and provide that lift, and then I'm going to turn the stimulation, the intensity up. So that's now producing a tingling feeling and making the muscles on the back of my upper arm contract, and then you see that reach when that happens. So keeping on turning it up, and my elbow starts to extend. And because I'm in the Maz Mini and my arm's de-weighted, I'm going to see far more movement than without this. And what's important to do is work with the stimulation. So even if you've got very little elbow extension or no elbow extension, and the stimulation is doing most of the work for you, really try and concentrate. And when you feel the tingling, imagine yourself reaching forwards. And then it's all about repetition, repetition, repetition with this. So that is exercise number 1, working on elbow extension. For exercise number 2, I've added in the 2nd channel lead, and I've put the electrodes on my forearm so that when the stimulation comes on, I'm going to get wrist and finger extension. So I've still got the ones on my upper arm, but this means when they both come on at the same time, I'm going to get a reach forwards with my elbow extending, but my wrist and finger is going to open. So I can now think of actually taking my hand to an object and grasping. So putting it back in the mobile arm support, so I get the de-weighting, the benefits of de-weighting, and then turning both channels on and getting that stimulation So there's my hand going open. So you've got the option with the Sabo Stim Pro of either working with that timing, but there is also a trigger button, which is button number T, so that when I press the T, the stimulation comes on, and when I take my finger off T, the stimulation switches off. So it means I can control exactly when I want my hand to reach forward to the object. Then I can stitch the stimulation off to grasp the object, take it back to a second position, switch the stimulation on to open, and then let go to switch off. So we can practice that with different objects that are more meaningful to you. So set up for exercise number 3. This time I've just got one lead. Exercise is going to be hand to mouth. So thinking about practicing eating or washing my face, brushing hair. So my ability to bend at the elbow is very weak. So I've stuck 2 electrodes on my bicep muscle so that when the stimulation comes on, it's going to help bend my elbow. By having the de-weighting device, it means I'm not stuck with my arm by my side. I've got a bit more freedom of movement to bring hand to mouth. So again, just turning that stimulation on. So exercise number 3 is going to be hand to mouth. So if you've got difficulty bending at the elbow to bring the hand to the mouth, you can stick the electrodes on the bicep muscle, which I've done already here. Because I'm going to be practicing hand to mouth, to stop the forearm shell, any risk of slipping, I've also put in the elbow stop on the Maz Mini. And then the benefit of combining with the Maz Mini means that my arm isn't going to be stuck by my side and having to practice in this position. So I'm going to just turn the stimulation up on the device. So still on program number 1, and that's flexing my elbow. Now if you can, and you've got some ability to close your hand, then absolutely put something in your hand to make this task more meaningful, whether it's a chocolate bar or banana or hairbrush, if you're thinking about starting to brush your hair. And again, work with the stimulation. So as you feel it come on, really try and bend your elbow with the device at the same time. You can also, with this, to work with the timing, again use the trigger button, so that T, so that I can control exactly when the stimulation comes on and I want to take a bite of my chocolate bar. So those are your 3 simple exercises to do with the Sabo Maz Mini and the Sabo Stim Pro. For more exercise ideas and how to, do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.